swear it's been a long time, but I feel like it's been an interesting month. I'll probably talk about it in another video because I feel like I just want to expand my type of videos, and I've been sort of experimenting a lot. And let's just say that my mental health hasn't really been great. So every time that I was trying to upload something, it wasn't it. I tried to work on it so much, but I feel like I don't know, it just didn't feel right. So I listened to my body and I just waited it out until I actually had something that I really wanted to share. So that's why I sort of got into a reading slump. If we can call it like that. I mean, I wouldn't really say that it's a proper slump because I've got some books with me right now and it's a lot of books. But it's been a lot of books that I would have probably read much quicker usually, and I haven't really been inspired to read certain titles like I would normally do. But that is okay. That is fine. I just feel like, sometimes we need to allow ourselves to take things a bit slower, even if it's frightening. I know we're starting on a very, very deep note, but let's just start again, alright? So I'm so sorry for this. It literally looks like I've got like a prison tag on, but it's my microphone. I'm just in the midst of rearranging my filming area, so I'll just film from my living room for today. It's not the best light, it's not the best location. Hopefully it's going to be a good sound, so that's why I've got my mic up here. Let's just get into it. So how are you? I really hope you're good. I really missed filming. But today I want to talk about some books that I read in the past couple months. I wouldn't really call this a wrap up because some of these are books that I read really quickly, some others during a longer period of time, but it's quite a lot of books. And the majority of these are all latest arrivals in the bookstores. The majority, I wouldn't say all of them, but the majority are. Let's start with the first book I've got right here. So I've got quite a few thrillers, quite a few. The first one I read, it's actually this one right here. So it's The Drift by C.J. Tudor. This book, it's great. If you're in a reading slump, pick this one up. It's massive. It's really, really big. But it's a very good book. And let's just take a look at the inside. It's so nice. This book is amazing. So it just talks about this post-apocalyptic scenario where there's a virus. We don't really know much about it. And so basically the story is divided into 3 different sections. So you have the first one that starts with a coach full of students which gets into an accident. And the second one is just a group of people that get stranded on a cable car. And the third one, it's an isolated chalet with friends and they don't know why they're there. No one really knows why they're there. And you sort of develop the story through these 3 different perspectives that in the end they will connect to the same story. And many plot twists. If you like a post-apocalyptic scenario, sort of I would say it is scary. It's very scary, but it's very fast-paced. So if you're in a slump, this is perfect to take you out of it because you wouldn't be able to put it down. I can see this one turn into a TV series or a film because it's really good. And yeah, just pick it up because this is probably a solid 5 stars for me. I wouldn't say it's life-changing, like it's not something we've never seen before, but it's just the way it's structured. It's written so well. So yeah, it's probably an easy 5 star for me. The second one, always leaning into the thriller point of view, it's The Institution by Helen Fields. This is another 5 stars. Probably I would say 4.5 stars instead of 5, just because the beginning, it's quite slow, and from halfway on, it just picks up so quickly. But it's a story of this, it starts with a murder, and this private investigator, she's trying to find out who actually committed this gruesome murder. And she and a colleague, they're actually transferred into this institution, which is a sort of prison for people who committed really, really bad crimes, but they were actually diagnosed as psychopaths, so they couldn't really go into a normal institution, into a normal prison, basically. And things get scary, because at one point there's a storm, and the whole institution goes in lockdown, and things happen, and they're stuck in there, and all those dangerous people come out, and it's so good. It is so good. I really like this sort of settings, because I feel like the pace is always very up high, and it's just great. This is probably, I would say, it's really sad saying that it's a 4.5 stars, but it's just because of the beginning. Half of the book is just so slow, and it just took away from the actual story. But from halfway on, it's just intense, beautiful, brilliant. So I highly recommend this one as well. The majority of these books are actually hardbacks, just because they're new in stores. So I would say these two, I found them together on the same new crime and thrillers section. But yes, both of these, they're great. Now we're going to a different sort of thriller mystery fiction, because I have two books that are sort of, I wouldn't really call them fiction and thrillers, because they are, but they also have some fantasy element to it, which is what I love the most. We have the first one that probably, it's one of my top books that I've read so far this year, and I would say it's an easy 5 stars, which is Wayward by Emilia Hart. This book, it just hits some chords in my heart that is just, I just didn't want it to finish. This book is just special. If you like loads of feminism with history, with period drama mixed with different scenarios, different point of views, narrators, and at the same time some witchy elements to it, this one. So it just tells a story of 3 women. We've got Kate, and the story is set in 2019, Violet in 1942, and Altha in 1619. So they're all going through some very, say, interesting points in their lives, and they're all triggered by men in their lives. And they find out that all of these 3 women, they're connected through things that you will discover through the book, but the majority of things are connected through magic and witchcraft and nature. And so that's why I just feel like it's so empowering and just very gripping. It's a very gripping story, but not in a way that you want to find out who does what, but it's more like, I am very attached to these characters right now, and I really want the best for them. This is beautiful. This is such a good piece, and we have this witchy element to it, that it's not actually straight up in your face. It's none of them is actually considered a witch with magical powers, but there are things that make you think that, even in the present time. It's just, and I feel like at the end of it, if you read it, maybe I'm mistaken, but you can tell me, I think at the end you understand that actually the magic is just the power these women had to go through everything that life was throwing at them. This is actually amazing as well inside. It's all pink, and it's a gorgeous piece to have in your house as well. The second fantasy thriller-esque book, it's this one, which is The Whispering Muse by Laura Purcell. This book, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, because I feel like also the theme was very much similar to things I enjoy in general. So let's just start from the beginning. So this is a book that's set in London, in London's West End, and it's a story of this woman who, for some reason that we'll discover later on in the story, has lost her job, has to raise her family, and she finds this person that offers her a great job as a dresser for a show in the West End. And she's basically working for this theatre company that just produces different productions through the year. But things are happening, and they think they're all connected to this muse of arts and theatre and acting that we don't really know much about, but we'll discover throughout the story. And it's just a beautiful gothic story that, if you enjoy anything, it really reminded me a little bit of the Phantom of the Opera sort of vibes. Not the story, because it really doesn't have romance in it at all. Okay, so hear me out. If you take Phantom of the Opera minus romance plus a sort of Shakespeare, let's say Shakespeare, yeah, plus a gothic London setting, plus murders, I think you've got this. Yeah, it's really good. No, I think it's really, really good. I feel like, oh my goodness. I just think there were some parts of it that I kind of despised the main character. It's not fair saying despise, but I think some of the choices she made, they were a bit, I don't know, annoying to me. It's just the way that sometimes she just wasn't making up her mind, and she was, I don't know, I just find it a bit annoying in a way. But I don't want to spoil too much. I'm trying to contain my words right now. But the other thing that took the 0.5 stars from the 5 stars is just that the ending is a bit underclimatic. A little bit, not too much, but I was expecting something more punchy, more extra. We know there's some magic happening. We know there's a supernatural element happening, but it's not straight up in our faces. So it might be just the characters in the books believing certain things instead of others. I think I might have to do a video with books that I really enjoyed with witchy elements to it, because I feel like I always tend to pick up books like that, but they're always magic realism books. So we might think that the characters are witches, but they're actually not. So if you have any suggestions with books like that, please let me know, because I love them. And now we're going into a non-fiction book, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous find. And it's this one. It's The Year of the Cat. This is a memoir by this writer. She's a writer for... Hang on. The Guardian. There we go. And it's, oh my goodness, it's one of the most comfortable reads I have read in the past couple years probably. It basically just tells the story of her life, challenges that she had through childhood, and the challenges that she's going through lockdown, especially in a city like London, working as a freelancer. But she just finds herself again the moment that she adopts a new kitten, which is something that loads of people did, and I did myself as well, and I can relate to this so much. If you're a cat lover, you'll just find that this book is like a warm duvet that will just make you feel so good. This is such a good book just to read in a 1 or 2 settings. And when you don't feel great, or you just need like a warm cuddle, and it's written so well, so incredibly well. There are some quotes in there that I will probably put on my Instagram. I just love it so much. Please pick this one up, because I feel like it's so underrated. And yeah, it's great. Yeah. For my last book, we actually have to go back on my Kindle. So I read a book that was actually recommended by another booktube channel from Anna Johnson. I just linked it down below. I love her videos so much. And also, as everyone and their moms and their brothers and their sisters and everyone else in their families will know, I love Stephen King. I love myself a good Stephen King book because I feel like it's a safe thriller, it's a safe horror, and all of his books are actually so comfortable for me. I just know why. I don't know why, but the way he writes, it just feels like you're his friend and you're just conversating with a person. And even in this book that I will talk about really, really soon, it just feels like you're in the story and you're part of it. And that is why it makes it even more scarier than a normal horror book. This book is called Later. This is not one of his most famous books, but it's actually one of the most recent. And it was probably published in 2019, something like that. It's actually really short. It's probably, I would say, like 250 pages, 200. I think it's under 300 pages. It's so good because imagine the best of Stephen King just shrinked up in 250 pages. The ending, it was good. I still give it 4.75 stars. That it was supposed to be 5 stars, but I feel like it just went down because of the ending, because I was a bit like, whoa, it's very extreme. But then again, you can't expect anything else from Stephen King. But it's basically the story of this kid who can see dead people, but it's not in a, Sixth Sense sort of way, because that is exactly what it says in the first page of the book. But it's actually in a very realistic way, so he can literally see them like normal people next to him, and he finds out soon enough that he can actually talk to them and they cannot lie to him no matter what he's asking. So this is where things get really interesting. Things happen, so he will have to solve some murders. You'll find out how and why by asking these people several questions, these dead people, sorry. And the way it is just narrated, and it makes it a book that you cannot put down. I read it and I really, really enjoyed it. This just made me want to keep reading Stephen King's books because they're just really, really good to me. They might be a bit controversial and a bit old style, but he's just a master of this genre. So if you have any other recommendations of people that actually write like him, please do. Just please send them over, because I'm always looking forward to having new books like that. But yes, this was the entirety of the books that I read in the past couple months. It's not many. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm reading 2 other books right now at the same time, so I don't feel like it was the right time to put them in this video. But I have some more videos coming, and I really hope that you enjoyed this one. And please subscribe and put a like, a comment, anything you'd like to this video, and I will see you soon at the end of the week.